Welcome to PIFFrADIO. I am your girl, Shay Speaks to Life. We got Said Wines in the building, and we definitely have a very, very special guest in the building on PIFFrADIO, Dr.Tracy Boyd Jr. in the building. Welcome.
Yay. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Hey, hold on, real quick. Hi. So, are you a what do you call it? Edupreneur? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, entrepreneur. Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, what's the hell?
He was like, right. Let me look that up.
So as an educator, one of the things that I like to do is really, go out and facilitate content. So I go out, I learn about things, and I bring it back to my community and teach them. So I'm an edupreneur.
Gotcha. Yeah, because she was like, you sure you want to put that? I say, that's what it says in the profile. Right. She's like, that don't say in the bio. I'm like, you ain't read the bio.
Yeah.
I did not say
that. What did he say? I said, hold on. It's an edup. Okay, I can't pronounce that. But I said, okay, edupreneur. There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Welcome to PIFFrADIO, man. So how you feeling, man? How you doing? Where are you right now?
So I'm currently in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Yep. So my hometown is Jackson, Tennessee, but I moved here about a month ago. I'm launching On the Docket with Dr.Tracy. So that's kind of your Judge Judy when you wake up and you see courtroom television. Right. I'm launching my own courtroom show here called On the Docket with Dr.Tracy, where I'm hearing small claim cases, paternity and DNA cases, people who have like probate cases and they want property transferred into their name. That's one of the things that I assist them with doing. Child support agreements, child visitation agreements. We know that men and women have issues in that realm. So I want to make sure that I'm providing and doing the things that I know that I'm capable of doing for people out there that need that kind of service.
That's what's up. So you got to get the women on child support.
I like how you put
the women as well. And
you hear that, ladies? It's gonna get you. We getting y'all this time.
But I know. Child support is an abusive system, or can be an abusive system if it's not handled with care, and it's put in the wrong hands. So,
I should have come on your show then.
Come on now, let's set that agreement up.
So you've been in California, been in LA for a month.
For a month, I've been here. Yep.
So for 1 month. So being out there, how do you like it out there so far? Like what is coming from the South all the way to the West Coast? Like what you notice the difference?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still in transition. I'm still trying to adjust. The timing of things has my mind completely off. I wake up every morning teaching school, and the times that were on our schedule, in Central Time is definitely different from the times that I'm having to get up now. Right. So going to bed early, waking up early, 3-4 o'clock, not being able to go back to bed, and then feeling really drained even by like 10 o'clock a.m. or 11 o'clock a.m. because it's just, I've done so much in those little hours in the morning. I'm still adjusting. It's a wonderful nightlife out here. But it ain't all that. I'll be honest with y'all. It ain't all that. It's very unnecessarily expensive. Since the pandemic, landlords have gone up on their prices astronomically, and they ain't bulging out here. So it's very expensive, and I think it's unnecessary. So I'm still looking for housing. I'm staying with a friend, still looking for housing right now, just simply because I'm not paying no $4,500 in no rent.
Damn, and then gas about $6 out there.
Come on now, they say pay 4. We need you to make 4 times the rent. And jobs aren't even making or paying 4 times the rent. Right. So that's a crazy requirement. So I'm adjusting, I'm transitioning. Listen, I'm thinking about coming to Atlanta. I'm gonna give it about another week before I make my final decision on whether or not I'm bouncing up out of California because I can't afford it and coming back over to the East Coast.
Man, hey, listen, we'd be glad to have you down here in the ATL. So come
on,
man.
I think I'm making my transition that way.
And that's funny because I told Shay, like, man, we need to, because Shay is my fiance. So I told her, I said, well, I want to move to California, but I keep hearing like, man, look, I said, you better think about that decision.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. It's nothing that we see on TV. It's nothing that, that we really hear about, from social media. It's like I haven't ran across one Black community yet, y'all.
Really?
Oh.
I have not ran across one. It's majority Hispanics and Mexicans and Asians and Latinos. They're really taking over the state of California.
Really? Well, you come on to Atlanta, boy. We got a whole bunch of chocolate out here.
Come on now. That was my visiting place.
They call it Chocolate City.
They call it Chocolate City.
The Chocolate City.
Yeah.
I'm from here. I'm born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, I'm from the East Side, shouted Gucci, all that.
Listen, that's where I need to be.
I'm from Miami, Florida, so I've been in Atlanta for 10 years. So I'm from Miami, so I grew up. So even though I got a heavily Spanish community, but it still got a Black community in Miami.
Miami. Oh, I heard Miami hood.
Well.
Look, I heard Miami slick the hood. Like,
yeah, I took Shay home. I took Shay home to Miami. She's like, yeah, I see what you talking about. I said, I told you, it ain't really all peaches and rainbows now. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't that in Cali either, man.
Dang, that's crazy.
Wow.
Well, we got something.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and I want to dig right into it, right?
Right.
This question here actually was by one of our producers here that couldn't be here, but they, of course, did the research, looked at your articles, went through everything, and wanted to ask you, due to the systematic racism, did you ever become discouraged or afraid to pursue this level of power?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Once you kind of make up in your mind that this is your work, this is your study, this is what you're going to put out to the people, on the inside, discouragement can come. It's either people gonna get on board or you're gonna have to fight a little bit harder to get them to see what it is that you're trying to get them to see. I don't become discouraged because I don't speak and I don't act to get everybody to agree with me. I can only become discouraged when you push against me and you don't agree with me, but I'm not trying to get you to agree with me. I'm trying to get you to start thinking for yourself and start fighting for a cause that you believe that you need to fight for. My cause is the criminal legal system. I like to refer to it as the criminal justice system because very little justice ever comes out of this system. So I refer to it a lot as the criminal legal system. My fight is the criminal legal system, and I'm going to always be a person that's going to bring you the facts about something versus just my opinion. And there's a difference, as you guys know, between facts and opinion. Facts, you can't argue facts. You can argue opinions, but you can't argue facts. So with that being said, I don't think I've become discouraged. I've definitely had to go back to the drawing board a few times and kind of revamp and remodel and readdress how I'm going to do some things.
You can't argue with facts.
Can't argue with facts.
Can't argue with the facts. So now, so dealing with, so I know you've been in California. I know you've been out there just for a month, but you already know how the South is. Do you? And it's always they always say about the West Coast and the South. You know what I'm saying about the level of racism. They say like the South is more upfront. The West Coast is more behind the scenes. Now, since you've been out there, have you kind of felt that a little bit, or have you heard that type of rhetoric? You know what I'm saying? That was coming, No,
I really haven't heard it. I'll be honest with you. I think the West Coast is actually doing more than the South because out here is a Democratic state. California is a Democratic state, whereas a lot of states out in the South are Republican states, red states. Right. So they're pushing these agendas that may not necessarily be in the best interest of people that look like me and you. Right. Here in California, though, I'm actually seeing, school systems, school officials, and, they're in election season right now. So they have several different people running for mayor and running for, city council. So with me being out here for a month already, I haven't been able to really dive into like who's pushing what agenda, what agenda really speaks for us in totality. So I'm still learning. I really ain't ran across that rhetoric, but I'm sure I probably will as the longer that I stay out here though. But it's harder to get the things that we're looking for to happen over in the South, in these Republican states.
That is so true, man.
Just in Atlanta, Shay, the governor of Atlanta, Kemp of Georgia, excuse me, of Georgia, Kemp, he was not only was it Secretary of State or something that he was he in the office of Secretary of State before governor?
That sounds
I think so. I think so.
I'm really trying to bring up the issue between him and his opponent.
It was Stacey Kemp was running.
Stacey Abrams.
I'm sorry. Stacey Abrams, yeah. Right. Because
she was running for governor. They were running for governor, right? But Kemp had something to do.
It
was something. It was a position that he held that really made him come out on top of this. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was because Shay gonna get this right. But it's a lot of things that he have done. You know what I'm saying? Between him and Florida, between Georgia and Florida governor, I mean these two fools. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what decided to vote for them, but they doing a lot of stuff that's very questionable, especially with the voting laws here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very, very questionable that it is going to make it pretty difficult for especially black voters. You know what I'm saying? To vote.
He resigned as the Secretary of State in 2018.
Okay, and that was okay.
I think he was running. Was he running for the state as secretary and then running for governor, or he had to lead, or he had to lead?
He resigned the Secretary of State.
Yeah, to run for governor, but I think he was trying to run at the same time or something like that.
Right, and that brought up a big issue there. Yeah,
right. It did. So
you kind of see, it's a lot of that does happen on the South. I haven't ran across that out this way yet, or even seen it, or for something to even appear to look like that's what's happening. People are really kind of in their prospective areas. They're going to push their agendas and push their points, and we're going to either agree with them or move on with the next candidate.
Gotcha. So go ahead.
So what is your biggest inspiration?
What or who? Okay. Who is my biggest inspiration? Lord, I try to keep them all neutral so don't nobody ever come back to me and say, "Oh, so I ain't your biggest inspiration."
Right.
So I try to keep them all neutral.
Like, hold on,
I said what? I tried to help you out. You flipped it back on you. I tried to help.
Yeah, you did. So let me go back to what then? What is my biggest inspiration? If you read, I'm pretty sure you read one of the articles that I sent you. And what a lot of people don't know is just because I have 3 degrees and 1 pending, I have been incarcerated before. I served 6 months in a county jail for simple possession of marijuana. It was the experience, and I think I'm coming to you guys from a spiritual standpoint now. While I was there, it was the experience that I had that inspired me to become and do what I'm doing today. 187 days in a county jail because of marijuana, and 20 miles down the road is decriminalized. But here we have prosecutors in this small white state or white city who pushes, we want jail time. I want jail time. 2 years I was looking at. Simple possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia for a little canister that I kept something in.
Wow.
In Tennessee, well, in Nashville or in Jackson, something that would have been ran together. In Gallatin, Tennessee, Sumner County, which is where I served my time, they ran them consecutive. So guys, when I violated that, I was placed in jail for 6 months. Well, really, it was for 2 years.
Wow.
I was writing motions and getting myself back into court in front of this judge. And this judge was basically denying my motions for reconsideration, motions for, for somebody else, a special prosecutor, somebody else to come back in and prosecute this case because I didn't trust this man. For my last time writing a motion, getting myself back into court, the prosecutor came back to the back before we went out to court and said, "Tracy, do you have a lawyer representing you today on your motion?" And I said, "No, obviously I'm in jail. Of course I don't have a motion." And the motion clearly says pro se. So when you hear something pro se, that means you're representing yourself. Okay. I wrote my motion pro se, representing myself. He said, "Well, I'm going to ask the judge to deny this motion." This was a motion for me because, y'all, I'm looking at doing 2 years. This was a motion for me to be able to, because it was drug related, can I go to a rehab facility? Did I need rehab? No, but it would be better than sitting in a jail cell.
Right.
So got everything set up, got approved for it and all of that. The DA said, "I'm not going to ask the judge to approve this, but I got something better for you. If you serve out one of the 1129s, I'll knock off the other 1129. So that would have been 6 months. I was already there 90 days, 3 months. So I had about, 90 days to go. And he said, so I said, "Run it. Let's do it." I had made trustee by this time. I was working at a senior citizens center. So it was really beginning to look like just a sleeping place for me. I was being out every day and I was able to, line dance and cook food and eat good food with my elders, just to come back and fall asleep there. So I say all of that to say, while I was there, this is the inspiration part, guys, and forgive me and feel free to cut in anytime I'm feeling long-winded. The inspiration part was not only was I able to help and do something for myself, but I was able to help other people that was there. I was already kind of in law. I was working at a law firm. I was interning for Judge Monte Watkins out of Davidson County Criminal Court. I was already beginning to have my knowledge and skills of this legal system. So I knew how to write a motion. And I knew that you can't just write no letter to the judge and think that the judge is going to respond to that letter. That's called ex parte communication. And that's illegal. You can't do that. Right. You have to write a motion and have that motion served to every individual that is a part of your case. So I'm in there writing motions for people, getting people back into court, getting people back in front of that judge. That's what inspired me to continue doing the work, to go to law school when I got out from doing those 6 months, to launch on the docket with Dr.Tracy when I got done doing those 6 months, to continue, doing this work, building the Law and Leadership School. Y'all, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the Law and Leadership School, but do you know where the Law and Leadership School idea was birthed? Inside of a jail cell.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's jump to that right now.
Absolutely. So the Law and Leadership School is a private independent school for middle and high school students where we are educating them on their legal rights and responsibilities. So we cover all of their core academic subjects: reading, math, science, history. We do all of the state core classes, but we have a specialized focus on the criminal legal system, on law. So all of my students, they are taking constitutional law. They're learning search and seizure law. They're learning torts. What is an assault? What is a battery? What are the elements to these crimes? In order for a prosecutor to charge me with a crime, what must he be able to prove in a court of law? So we're going over all of those things, and it's been an amazing experience. At the end of each semester, the first semester is a criminal trial. The second semester is a civil trial. And so at the end of the semester, these young people are actually prosecuting and criminally defending cases in front of a real court judge. So they take the semester and they learn and they study a mock trial case. Last semester we had the People v. Andrew Madison. And so Andrew Madison was a high school student who got into a fight with a school resource officer, and it involved a pocket knife. Somehow the officer was cut and somehow Mr. Madison was cut. It's up to our young people to prove in front of a real court judge how that officer got cut and whether or not Mr. Madison was responsible for that. So it's an amazing, tangible experience that these young people are learning. The pictures that you're currently seeing on your screen are some in-class pictures, as well as the gentleman in the suit and tie there. He's a councilman in Nashville, Tennessee. His Councilman Brandon. So we take our students out into the community. As you see on their shirts, it says schools, not prisons. One of my jobs and one of my goals is to abolish the school to prison pipeline.
Right.
For those of you guys who don't know what the school to prison pipeline is, it's this national trend wherein students are funneled out of public school systems into the criminal legal system by way of suspensions, by way of zero tolerant policies and things of that nature. And so that's what the Law and Leadership School is about. We're open to students in all 50 states. So no matter what state or what city you in, of course, obviously it will be virtual if you're outside of Nashville and Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But all of our students have teachers. They log in every day, meeting with their teachers, and they graduate from the Law and Leadership School. They get a diploma, they get their grades and all of that. So we're not just a program that's tutoring students. We are actually covering academic standards, and we're promoting these students to the next grade level.
That's what's up. And, it's funny, go back to the school part. I always thought, when you look at some of these schools, right? What I'm saying? I lived in 4 states. What I'm saying? I lived in South Carolina, worked in North Carolina, lived in Georgia, and of course Florida. What I'm saying? Playing football and went around to each state. I noticed every majority of the high schools, they look like miniature prisons.
Yeah,
they do. They look
all over California. They're guarded with not only just a fence, but barbed wire on the fence.
Right. So I'm like, that's when people talk about the prison, the pipeline, the pipeline, what I'm saying? I'm like, you can see it because the way they built the school. What I'm saying? And you go inside, when you get into the school, it's like, I'm like, this don't
I went to
like
high school, it didn't have windows. I went to Reading High School.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
The only windows they had were in the common areas, and they were like the skinny windows in the jail, like the only little ones you could have. And they were all the way at the top. Nobody could get there to even see outside.
As if it used to be a prison or a jail.
Right. Yeah, I remember in Miami, what I'm saying, they build Northwestern. What I'm saying? It's like one of the prominent high schools down in Miami. And when they built the new one, I'm like, this looked like a big old prison or jail or something. It didn't look no different than TGK in Miami, the well-known jail down in Miami. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
This looked just, and it had no windows, like a big court. I'm like, this don't even feel right. So I definitely believe that school to prison to pipeline. I definitely believe that, man, because they already showing us in front of our faces. Really?
Oh yeah. And to kind of piggy, I see our next prompt up to kind of piggy back off of, just that school to prison pipeline thing. think about the statistic that's out there that says we build prisons and we know how many prison beds we're going to need based upon whether or not your child can read by the 3rd grade.
Right.
Yeah. They say if your child cannot read, and that's not being able to read words, that's being able to comprehend what you're reading. If your child cannot read and comprehend what they're reading by the 3rd grade, that's how we know how many prisons we're going to be needing to build in our future. Come on now. I'm all about teaching parents that, listen, public education is not the only educational model out there. You got homeschool, you got tutorial schools, you got Sudbury schools. There is an educational model out there for every parent if they will take the time to just do their research and look for it.
Right. Right.
I had a conversation with my friend of mine about 2 weeks ago about that, because that's something she wants to be able to implement. She does homeschool. She's always done homeschool with her 4 boys, for, all of their school childhood. So it's like, she's really, rallying. She helped me at one point. I went to that side to even, see if I can do it, and it's like, wow, I tip my hats off, because it can be.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's like, a lot. You talk about elementary, middle, and high school. I'm like, this is I'm getting uppercutted. Like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely appreciate you, educators, for sure.
Thank you.
So, many people don't know about who Billy Moore is and his story. So share with the audience his story and the role that you played.
Yeah, so Billy Moore is from Jackson, Tennessee. Billy had, a troubled past, just like, several other people out there. I've had a troubled past before. I'm pretty sure other people, you guys may have, if you have, but one of the things I like about Billy is as Billy got older, Billy became a little bit more mature and wise. He started running for city council in Jackson, Tennessee. And like me, he was really just bringing a lot of things to the forefront, a lot of issues in the community, and a lot of things he was bringing, as Billy used to say, I don't know whatchamacallit and they said, she said, I don't know them. If I can put a name to it, or if I can put an organization to it, then that's what I'm going to do. And so Billy made it his life's work to really educate our community about the things that was going on within the city council or within the commission or within the school system. He called out several elected officials, and obviously, and of course, that they don't like that. Right. One day, Billy was leaving the radio station. He did radio once or twice a week in Jackson. While he was running for city council, one day he was leaving the radio station, got a call from his stepson to come down on a certain area in Jackson to help him get his sister, who was in some trouble. Well, Billy went down there. Apparently there was a fight between his stepson and some other guys that were down there. Long story short, somebody ended up getting shot and killed. Billy is a convicted felon, so obviously he can't have or even be around weapons. Right. This was the chance for the prosecuting office to get Billy. This was the chance for them to put out whatever narrative they wanted to put out there and prosecute him for whatever crimes they wanted to prosecute him for. Billy ended up going to trial. He sat in jail for 2.5 years before he even went to trial or any of that. The issue that I took on Billy's case when I made it back to Jackson out of Nashville at the height of COVID. Made it back to Jackson. We had to close down the physical location of the Law and Leadership School in Nashville. So guess what I did? I went back home with mama. I can save some. I can do some work in Jackson. If I'm going to be meeting virtually with my students, I'm going to go home and save some money. Because I know once this pandemic is over with, I'm going to need some money. While at home, I got a hold to Billy's transcripts. And as I was going through the transcripts, these were preliminary hearing transcripts. For you who don't know what preliminary hearing is, first of all, never waive your right to a preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing is a hearing to establish probable cause. Do these folks even have enough evidence against you to even charge you with this crime before we proceed?
Okay.
Right.
So never waive your prelim. So during the prelim, I'm going through those transcripts, and just about every witness on the transcript lied, had all different stories. All of them were family members. All of them were witnesses for the state. Nobody in support of Mr. Moore. All of these are people who were coached by the state.
Wow.
And I took issue with that because they all had different stories. The one transcript I read that a question was asked, well, did you find Mr. Billy Moore's phone? Because here's the big part of this story, guys. It was a lot of things involving this story. So I'm trying to make sure I kind of simplify it without rambling on, telling parts that I don't necessarily have to tell. But there was a situation in Billy's story where Billy was called back over to the property. This was before the shooting. He was called back over to the property because, remember, I told you guys earlier, there was a fight that took place between his stepson and another gentleman. Billy was the person to break that fight up. Well, during the breaking up of that fight, Billy's phone fell out of his pocket. And apparently he didn't know that because of all of the chaos that was going around. Billy grabbed his stepson and they got in the car and they left. The boys or the guys that were at the house called the stepson's phone and told Billy to come back over because they had his phone. This is all verified, guys, by court records, by phone records. It sounds crazy. It sounds suspicious, but it's the truth. It's all verified by court records. They got back to the house, and as soon as the car that Billy was in, as soon as it stopped in the middle of the street, shots were fired from the yard of where the shooting took place. The son, a gentleman, ended up getting killed because Billy did return fire. The stepson did have a gun in the car that belonged to him. Now, if you know anything about law, there are some things called exceptions that can be used as a defendant's defense. Right. And as we know, convicted felons can't own firearms, can't use firearms, can't be around firearms. Right. But there is something called necessity. And if it was a necessity that he act, which means I've exhausted all of my measures before resulting to having to pick up a gun, I can use it. And that's my defense. And so the judge allowed a self-defense argument into this case. Right. The issue came about because Billy didn't start shooting back until they literally kind of passed the house. The gentleman was shot in his back. So the question remained, how could Billy shot this man, and the man was, according to autopsy, was shot in the back and the car was in front of him? This man was shot by his own family member, and they did not want to hold accountability to that, therefore resulting in placing it on Mr. Moore. Oh, wow. The city got involved with that. There were testimony, and all of this is court records, guys. So I don't want you guys to have to feel like we have to do any disclaimers or any of that. This is in court records. Right, I'm like, yeah. There was a testimony, and I was there. So I'm proof. There was a key witness, the best friend of the gentleman that was killed, who had to testify during the trial. And he stated during the trial that Councilman Johnny Dodd paid him $500 for him to show up and lie against Billy.
Oh.
Wow.
So they really were trying to get Billy. They were
trying to get Billy was running against Johnny Dodd for councilman.
So they would. So this was an opportunity. This was like
this was an opportunity. I stepped in. I highlighted the inconsistencies in Billy Moore's case. His first attorney that was on the case, I was on his ass like it wasn't, like it was nothing. Like you gotta go visit your client. You gotta, when you take $10,000 from somebody you say that you're gonna represent, you gotta show up for that $10,000. Right. And Billy wasn't feeling like he was receiving the representation that he paid for. He knew the position that he was in. That lawyer really didn't know. All he's thinking about is, this is just another criminal client that I'm finna have to go and represent. You see what I'm saying? Right. But Billy understood his position and what needed to be done, which is why we had to fight so hard on bringing awareness to his case. You know what I'm saying? I have led marches in Jackson. I have led protests in Jackson. I have not only protested the jail, not only protested the DA's office, but I am protested at the DA's house. If we're going to believe if we're going to fight for something in our community, in our Black community, we got to fight for it and we got to keep fighting for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. In order to be, we can actually watch that. You want to watch that, Shay?
Sure. Let me see.
This is a protest down at the mayor's office.
They're asking if Mayor Jimmy Harris, Madison County Mayor, if he's here.
Is Mayor Harris here? That's the third time we asked him. He's saying no.
He's like, I don't want to come outside. I don't want to come out here. He didn't want to come out the house.
Right. Come on. Right.
He was there. He didn't want to come out there.
And then dismantling it. And that's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm going to do. I have to keep pressure on this movement. If not, we're going to lose it. And this is not the opportunity for anybody to lose this moment right now, lose this movement right now. And so I love what we're doing. I love the progress that we're making. It went from 350 plus people showing up to now, barely a dozen people showing up. And I expected that, but that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. That's what I mean by we take on issues for about 2 or 3 weeks and then they die off. No one cares about them anymore unless they're affecting them personally. I want to end that narrative. I want to shift that narrative. If these are going to be progressive things that we're fighting for, we have to stick to it. So you're going to continue hearing about me. You're going to continue seeing me out there because in order for us to thrive as a community, we have to create and design a community where all of us can thrive in.
Wow.
There we have it.
Dope.
There we have it. In order for us to thrive in a community, we have to build that community for everybody to be able to thrive in. And guess how we do that? We do that by dismantling laws and police unions that serve us no good.
I tell you what, I think the walls is breaking down. You know what I'm saying? I really see that. I see the walls breaking down slowly, and everything always take time, but we always changes has to happen because you can't keep going on like this because it's not serving us. You know what I'm saying? Any justice, any purpose, anything like that. So we have to, you know what I'm saying? We have to keep the fight on, and I see it. I see I see it gradually changing. I see things changing. You know what I'm saying? And man,
we have to encourage people to vote. You know what I'm saying? We have to not only encourage people to vote, but encourage people to run for office. You know what I'm saying? In Jackson, I've never been in a place where nobody wants to, I guess, be the district attorney, or nobody wants to be the public defender.
Right,
The
right.
defender role in Jackson is currently open on the ballot with no name there.
Really?
No name. Nobody wants to run for it. Nobody.
do.
The gentleman, our current district attorney, he's running for re-election. He's running unopposed. Nobody wants to run against him. But when you realize and you think about it, though, part of that is because, let's be honest, you make more money as a private lawyer than a district attorney or the public defender.
Right.
That's just that. They're on salary, whereas you bringing in way more than them. You know, the last lawyer that I worked for, he brought in $500,000 just in 1 year. That's more than what they're making. So nobody wants to run for these positions, but we have to encourage people to run, and then those to vote. Exercise that right to vote, man.
Right. Come on. It's Jackson, Tennessee, right? Jackson, Tennessee.
That's Jackson, Tennessee.
My people in Jackson, Tennessee. You gotta somebody gotta step in to fill that void now. Come on, Jackson.
Come on.
Like, I don't want it. I'm
you
straight.
come on, goddamn
I'm
Jackson.
I'm straight now.
Hey, listen. We y'all gotta fill that goddamn void now.
Right, right.
Man. Fill that void. Somebody step up to the plate. God damn. We all can't be rappers. Come on now.
But,
come on now. Come on.
Oh, let me stop before they jump on me.
I know. I almost jumped through the screen on you that quick. Now hold on.
North. Okay, look, I don't want no problems for them. Okay, please. So, what is one popular misconception people have generally about law?
One popular misconception that people generally have about law. Forgive me if this is not delivered in the way that you was expecting. I don't know if this is, maybe it is a misconception. There's a difference between the law and your feelings.
Okay, there you go.
How you feel about the law has nothing to do with the actual law. Whatever the law says, or whatever the law, however it's written, that's what it is, regardless of about how you feel about it. We need to be fighting to change the laws, not just putting out our personal feelings about these laws. So I say that to say, I get a lot of people who ask me questions about landlord-tenant disputes. As you guys know, I'm an arbitration judge. So I hear a lot of landlord-tenant disputes, people who have issues with their landlord, or landlords who are suing their tenants for whatever reason. The tenant has an obligation to whatever is laid out in that lease.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
If the tenant refuses to pay their money for their lease because they feel like their landlord should have done something for them or should be doing something for them, if it's not laid out in that lease, you are in breach of your contract, regardless of how you felt about it.
Okay.
You feel like your landlord should have done this. Well, right. Did you go back to your lease and ascertain whether or not this was an obligation for your landlord or for you? And so that is an issue that I come up across a lot. Child support, child visitation. Oh my goodness. This is probably the misconception that I probably should have went with. In the state of Tennessee, a father has no if the mother and the father were not married at the time that the child was conceived or born, the father has no legal rights to that child. He can't ask for custody. He can't ask for visitation rights. He can't ask for nothing until you establish paternity. And that paternity can only be established through court order, or when you were at the hospital, when that doctor came in that room and said, hey, you want to sign this form acknowledging paternity? If you signed that acknowledgement for paternity form, then yeah, you're the legal father and you can assert your legal rights. But if you weren't married to the mother of that child when that child were born, you can't assert any kind of legal rights, visitation, or any of that. And then you may want to be careful, because if you are somebody that's against child support, are you sure you want to go establish paternity, or do you just want to take care of your child? Because now this opens up the door for you to have to start paying child support. Right. And as you guys know, a lot of people don't like paying child support.
Ain't that true?
Yeah, that's true. I think it's the people don't do their research on it. Because if you like, okay, if you paying $500-600, because it goes according to your income, right? You know what I'm saying? It goes according to your income.
There's a worksheet that's filled out. Yep.
Right. And and then it's some they got a percentage, right? Like 20, 30, whatever it is, right?
Or something like
20, right? So by knowing, this what cats, men and women, now you know what I'm saying? This is what they don't understand. Like they never go back and read, you know what I'm saying? Like understand the law. You know what I mean? Like they never take the time to do the research. So then when they do go to court, they got, all right, I understand. I make this certain amount. This is probably how much I'm gonna have to pay to get an estimate, whatever. Because they go in there be all surprised. Well, I gotta pay that much. Why I gotta do this and why I gotta do that? Well,
do you think? Okay, so yes, is it fair, Dr. Tracy? Is it doing?
You know something? I don't think it's fair to them, because who wakes up in the morning wanting to go and research laws other than people like me? Who wakes up in the morning and say, oh, I'm finna go research this law real quick? Like it's a daily thing that I have to do. I hired a lawyer because that's what lawyers do.
Right.
So I'm hiring this lawyer to represent me and to the best of his ability and bring me back what needs to come back and allow me to make the decision as to what I want to do. But you are right, said a lot of the issues that we see happening is due to a lack of knowledge within the system. A lot of men are falling down to this child support and becoming stressed out because they don't know how to go through the system. A woman, she gonna take time to figure out, especially when it comes to some money. She gonna take her time to figure out what she needs to figure out. Right. And so if I need to go to court, if I need to keep showing up to court to try to get him placed on child support, a woman gonna do that. A man, he's not gonna do that because already psychologically in his mind, he don't know this system. He already don't like judges and police officers and being around just in that environment as a black man or black woman or anything. So that it's intimidating. So with that being said, like, I'm just going to do what I need to. I'm just going to do what I got to do. Like,
right.
Fuck what I gotta, fuck all the other stuff. I'm just gonna do it. Like, and they bow down to it, and it's a lack of knowledge. That's why people come to me and they say, hey, what I need to do, because I'm gonna give it to them real. If you ain't got your shit together, you don't need to be doing nothing right now. Get a job. You can't go asking for custody and you ain't got no job, or you staying at home with your mama. Like, it's some things that you gotta get in order for a judge to even look at you and think that you are a perfect fit for a child to come into your home. It's just a lot of knowledge that we got to do, said. So I agree with you. You are absolutely right. We have to become knowledgeable and just mature in this system. Right.
And it's like sometimes some brothers, you know what I'm saying, they get caught up in the child support system because they don't go to court. So, I had a couple of friends like that, like they didn't go to court, and they were like, "Man, she taking it." I say, "Bro, you didn't? Did you go to court?" No, I ain't go to court. Cause I'm like, well, that's the way you mess up. Like, you didn't go to court.
Judgment, duh, right?
Yeah, you didn't.
Right. They don't be showing up. Right.
They don't be showing. Don't be showing up. You know what I'm saying? Because they had this misconception, like, man, well, they're gonna have to catch you when they can. Yeah, fool, they is gonna catch you eventually.
Yeah, and they are.
They are. They're gonna eventually catch you. You don't want to get caught up in that mess, man.
Come on now.
So fellas, go to court. Go to court.
Take y'all escort. All right, really quick, because we got to get up out of here. I know we got to get that crazy. I gotta have a part 2 because it's so much. It's so much.
It's a lot. When you talk about this law, man, it's a lot to dissect.
Yeah, we got to do it. Definitely got to do a part 2.
And my daughter's
we gotta have Summer to come on here too.
Right. I wanted her.
She's studying law in college.
She went to her first mock trial yesterday.
Okay, dope.
And so she was like, Mom, I just, she wanted to figure out, how she can not be biased because the case was similar to a case that we're dealing with now. And so she's like, wow, like, how do I separate my emotions from cases? So this is
and it's hard. It's hard.
I gotta talk
Yes, for sure.
So I want to guess what your funny side really is.
Quick. So all right. So we was guessing earlier. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say you a Scorpio. Go ahead, Shay.
All right. He ain't say that. Okay, he ain't move. He ain't flinch. He ain't give me that. Okay. So at first I said, well, since he's in the law, I kind of went with a Libra, right? I said that's befitting.
You gotta get one.
He said something during his interview that was like, oh, that's like I did a TikTok about it. I think a Leo had said this, and I was like, ooh, you said like word from word, like a whole thing. I was like, is he a Leo? I'm like, oh man. So what is your zodiac sign?
So I'm actually a Taurus.
Oh my God!
Okay.
I'm actually a Taurus.
Yeah. So he love to eat. You know what I'm saying?
He love to eat. Oh yeah.
So
we
come to Atlanta.
Birthday in April. Yeah, my birthday's next month, April 26th. I'll be 29. Yep, I'll be 29.
So you come to Atlanta, we take you to eat. That's what we're gonna do. Like,
listen, hey, maybe I need to set that up. I need some new friends for real.
That's great. And then one of our infamous, this is one of our co-hosts. Definitely, this is his question. That's only a question of mine. Shout out to Javi, we're the pilot here on PIFFrADIO. This is his question. We have a battle. Okay, this is going to help decide what he say, mankind and all of this stuff. He really blows this up. I'm winning right now. Do you like pineapples on your pizza?
No.
Damn it, God, that was quick. You didn't even give it a thought.
He would love that. He would have gone.
Damn, Doc, you ain't even.
No. I don't like that. Okay, I don't like that.
How you ain't get? Oh my God, he said it so quick. No, I don't. No.
Nope. And I'm a very picky eater too. Like I don't eat a whole bunch of stuff. Like I don't even eat seafood, y'all. I don't eat seafood at all. Period.
Wow.
Are you a vegan?
And I don't think it's because of the taste. It's the texture. It sounds crazy, I know.
It's rubbery.
But I'm real funny about certain textures in my mouth. So
that's crazy.
Okay. As a Taurus should, because the Taurus is the senses, the 5 senses. They
come on now.
The taste, the tongue. So
come on now.
That's befitting. So what are your social media handles? Where can our audience find you, Dr. Tracy Boyd? Yeah,
so you can go on Facebook and type in Judge Tracy Boyd. It's going to take you to my On the Docket with Dr. Tracy Facebook page. If you can't remember On the Docket with Dr. Tracy, just type in Judge Tracy Boyd and it'll take you straight to that page on Facebook. On Instagram, you can follow me at Dr.ESQ. So DOCTOR, Dr.ESQ. That's Esquire. On TikTok, it's the same thing, except for I spelled doctor a little bit funny. DOCTUHH. So Dr. DOCTUHH.ESQ. TikTok is becoming a little bit more of my platform that I'm kind of actually operating on. I've had a video that accumulated 2.7 million views. My followers are going up by the minute. So thank you to my TikTok followers. But that's going to be my platform. And guys, I'll be honest with you. I know I was telling you guys how I came out here to launch On the Docket with Dr. Tracy, which is a court TV show like Judge Judy and all of that. I actually want to run mine on the web, though. And a lot of my platform people, TikTok followers have been personally reaching out to me, encouraging me to do two things. One, start tagging WeTV and Peacock in just about all of my content.
Okay.
To kind of get their attention. Like, I need a show. Can you help me with the show? So I want you guys to do that as well. Like, there is a purple and gold flyer on my social media profiles that I ask people to kind of screenshot and upload to their personal profiles and tag people like the Zeus Network and Lamel Plumer, who is the CEO of the Zeus Network. Y'all watch Jocelyn Cabaret? He's the producer of that network show. So really just trying to get people out there, because I do realize, guys, and I'll leave it off with this. I do realize that traditional litigation is not affordable for everybody. A lot of people can't pay court costs and court fees and filing fees and things of that nature. And so On the Docket with Dr. Tracy is set up for those individuals. Why go out and pay $10,000 for a lawyer on something that I can handle myself? And we teach you that process. Not only do I listen to your case, but I educate you during your case. As you guys know, a lot of judges, they have their own kind of uniqueness about them, right?
Right.
I'm gonna be the educator over the bench. So not only am I going to give you sassy opinions and facts, but I'm also going to educate you about certain contracts and breaches of contracts and things that, you get involved in. So I am excited. Thank you guys for having me. Like, this was so dope. I can't wait for a part 2.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We definitely gotta have I need a good entertainment lawyer. So you gotta recommend me one out here somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
look, it's going to depend upon what you need. Maybe you don't need a lawyer. Maybe you just need a legal professional. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Who knows how to do it? And if that's the case.
All right, he got you.
Crazy said he got you, Shawty. He got you, Shawty. All right, so
they charge you $10,000 to do it.
Got you.
And before we get out of here, give us that drop for Piff Radio.
Give us a drop for Piff Radio.
Yes, so giving us a drop for our radio station, because this will be aired on our radio station as well.
Right.
Okay.
And so you want to definitely just let the audience know, the dopest radio station. Hello. Like Piff.
Hey guys, listen, it's all about the outcome, not the income. And you guys are listening to Piff Radio.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Love it. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
We definitely gonna get you back for a part 2. Definitely.
Okay, yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. I got some other things kind of streaming in my mind that I want to definitely hit on. So I'm open to it. You guys let me know when.
No doubt.
Right,
hey man,
sure.
Y'all just listen to the interview with Dr. Tracy Boyd. Make sure you follow us on all social media at Piff Radio and Piff Radio Online. Make sure you hit the subscribe bell. Follow us on YouTube. Everything, all right. And make sure you follow Dr. Tracy Boyd. Get that illegal advice and everything, and pay your child support. Pay it.
Pay your child support and go to court.
Go to court. God damn it.
Go to it.
All right, y'all.
All right, take care.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Bye. Peace.